Have you ever felt like you've been responsible with delivery, but without actually anybody directly reporting to you on the team? You're suddenly responsible to lead, influence, and get things across the finish line, but without the actual org chart power, or sometimes without a lot of support as well. In this video, I'm going to cover with you exactly how I influence others and lead without authority and also hold them accountable. Hi, I'm Edna. Welcome to my channel. I created this space to help other software professionals grow their skills and also become more productive by using AI powered tools and workflows. I've been in tech for over a decade now, and I've experienced it all: promotions, layoff, and also burnout. And that's why, after everything, I decided to create this space to help others grow their skills and also stay employable and ahead of the game in this ever changing job market. So, if that's you, hit that subscribe button so that you won't miss out. Oh, before I go, make sure you stay until the end because I have a joke for you. First, let's explain what influence without authority means. It basically means you need to get people who don't actually report to you to align and motivate them to get to the outcome. These could be any of your stakeholders and also engineers from other teams or even senior managers. You don't manage them directly, but you do need their buy in, their time, and their output. And this is exactly what influence without authority means. In tech, this is critical because most complex initiatives, they don't live in one team or one function. It's across multiple of them. If you cannot influence without authority, then you're going to be constantly blocked. And that doesn't only create frustration, it's a big risk to your project. So when people are asking me why it matters, I say because influence creates trust. Trust creates alignment, and alignment creates delivery. If you've liked this video so far, I would really appreciate it if you can like, comment, and share. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, hit that subscribe button now. It really helps the channel grow and also to get this content in front of people who might really need it. And in return, I promise I will answer all of your comments and questions. But also, here's a collection of beautiful flowers that grow in my garden. All right, let's continue, shall we? Now, let me walk you through the framework that I use in order to influence without authority. It has three key steps: one, setting expectations; two, creating visibility; and three, building ownership. The first step is to set those clear expectations. I always explain why I'm there, why was I hired, for example, and what I'm trying to do. Recently, in one of the teams that I was hired on, I was brought on to help the team deliver more consistently because they weren't. I didn't just go into the team with a checklist of things to get done. No, I went there and I said, hey, I was brought on here to help us together work on our delivery and consistently deliver at the end of every sprint. And we can only accomplish that if we work together. And that is my mission. I think if when you provide that context, it removes defensiveness and brings people together. The second step that I follow is to make progress visible. I do this sometimes by creating dashboards, and dashboards that are action oriented, not just information oriented. The other ways that I do is if you're doing Scrum or Agile, I set weekly goals aside from stand ups, right? Daily stand ups, if you're doing that. It helps people be focused on that one task every week. And during stand ups, they can provide their updates on that goal. At the end of the week, I kind of follow up and say, did we achieve the goal? And if we didn't, what did we learn from it so that we can apply it to next week? So they're like kind of mini sprint retrospectives every week that you have. The other thing I do is I go through the status update reports that I provide to upper management. Sometimes I even go through the whole thing or send it asynchronously to the team to show them what I'm going to share with the management. That kind of brings visibility and accountability with the team. Sometimes I even ask them to fill it out and, also like just every time we have maybe a team meeting, sometimes that's weekly, I have them fill out a form, like everybody, that like what did they do last week and what do they plan to do next week. This all like really brings that progress and visibility to the upfront and public, and it kind of builds that influence and accountability that people need. The third and last step is to create a culture of ownership, not blame. This is really where the influencing game happens. People don't want to feel like they're being controlled. They want to feel like they're invested, right? They have skin in the game. Some of the ways that I do it is with this RACI matrix, right? RACI stands for who's responsible and who's accountable, who's consulted, and who's informed. This ties roles and responsibilities basically with owners. The other thing I do is like I have people, demo their user stories that they finish at least at the end of every sprint, or sometimes in stand-ups, just pull up and do a quick demo of what you finished. And those weekly updates and weekly goals that I mentioned earlier, I also assign them owners, like named owners. Let me give you a few real world examples from my experience. In most companies that I worked for, we tend to do quarterly planning. So basically, what's the highest priority that as a team we want to accomplish? And you usually get to that by working with a product owner and customers, etc. What I do is I go and create those epics and I make sure I understand the requirements, and then I come up with some estimates for those and do basically a capacity planning. And based off of that, I figure out what we can accomplish that quarter. Then here's the thing, before I share that with the outside, with upper management, or with anybody outside of the team, I go and share it with my team and get their buy-in to it. That way they know that they are taking ownership because they're agreeing to this plan, and that always helps. And I also take their feedback, right? If they say like, oh, I don't know, I'm confused, or I'm concerned about that, or this might come up, then I adjust the plan. I make sure that I take their feedback and apply it. Another time was that I've done it quite a bit in different teams is when you go in and some of the SDLC processes basically are lacking and you need to improve them. SDLC stands for Software Development Lifecycle. By the way, I have a class on Udemy. If you're curious and want to learn more about it, it's free. So go and take it. But yeah, so most of the time in the past, I have been needing to improve a part of that or a part of Scrum and Agile. So what I do is like I just go and observe like how is the team doing the work they're doing, right? Like kind of what is lacking. I kind of get an idea. But then I do a retrospective with the whole team on specifically focused on process improvements. I also meet with each team member individually because sometimes they just don't feel comfortable talking in the group. I make sure I hear them all out, and then I take all of their feedback and create action items, solutions. Then that plan that I have now with action item and solutions, I go back and share it with them, and I ask for feedback and I update it once to make sure that we get to a point where everybody's aligned and agrees. So this way you bring everybody together and you kind of create that camaraderie and ownership and accountability and get everybody energized to want to accomplish it. If you enjoyed this video, I really would appreciate it if you could like it, comment on it, and share it. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button so you won't miss out in the future. It really helps the channel grow, but also show this content to people who might find it helpful. And now I leave you like I always do with a little joke because life is too short not to laugh. Why did the Get Commit go to therapy? Because it had too many unresolved conflicts. I know.